Okay, we're going to do a little bit of a test. This is something a lot of people have been asking about. It's our new electric outboard. It's an Aquamot. This one's the 1.6 Trend model. If you've been watching Sailing Fair Island Series 1, you'll know that we had quite a few problems with our outboard, our two-stroke outboard before. So we decided we wanted to get an electric outboard. I'd heard good things about Aquamot in that they're just well built. I like well built things, and this, you can see, it's all aircraft grade aluminium. A lot of these ones can just be a bit plasticky, and don't look like they're built to last. Everything about this looks like it's built to last. So apart from the reliability, one of the main reasons we wanted an electric outboard was that I don't like having petrol on board. It's difficult to store. It's just nasty stuff to have around on a boat, really. This, obviously, none of that problem. It's also much lighter than a petrol outboard. And what we used to have to do to get it on was use this crane here. And it's a bit of a palaver. You lift it up and hoist it down. Two-man job, obviously, but it was quite tricky. With this, this is light enough that you can just lift it up and lift it down. And this is with the battery on. I mean, obviously the battery is fully detachable, so we'll just slide the battery off. It's light enough to have pass down in one hand, and then the engine itself, it's light enough just to hand down. You don't have to worry about hoists, so it makes life much easier if you're just short-handed like we are as a couple trying to do it.
We just find that because this is now so easy to do, we do it every time and aren't tempted to tow the dinghy, which is never a good idea.
So I put the keel cord on. I've actually changed the keel cord. The one that came with it was this, which was just difficult to put on. I don't know, it's just bad design, which is strange. So they're an Austrian company, this one, and I mean the design of the engine's brilliant, but I think they must have outsourced the design of the keel cord. That wasn't very good. And the same as this here, there's no way. Normally you have handles that you can put together and put the padlock through, but there's no way of locking it, so I've had to sort of come up with my own way of having a bike lock through, so it's a bit Heath Robinson, but it works. So yeah, let's get going. What I normally do is I sit on this side, on the port side of the boat, because then this is like a motorbike throttle. So if you twist it as you would a motorbike to go faster, you will go faster. And you can go back and you feel it just stop, and there's a little indent position there, but then you turn it the other way and we do go backwards. And it's really controllable. I mean, that's the good thing about this. It's it's just incredibly controllable. It's easy to use, articulates up and down, so you could no matter what height you're at or whatever, it's it's pretty easy to get to. But yeah, it's just really responsive. It's supposed to be 5 brake horsepower. I think it's this engine is the 1.6 kilowatt version, which is supposed to be equivalent to 5 brake horsepower. I don't think it's quite that. It's a little bit less than that, I think, but it's certainly powerful enough, and pretty instant with the power. It pushes you along quite nicely. I mean, it's not quite enough to get this up on the plane. I know with my two-stroke engine, with one person I could just about manage it. Can't quite with this. They do a bigger version now. Since we bought this one, the 1.6, they now do a 1.8, which probably would get this up on the plane. You got a nice little readout here of what power you've got left in the battery. Range-wise, I did measure it once. On one of the trips we did, it did 5 miles. That's with 2 on board in this dinghy. Obviously, dinghies aren't the easiest thing to push through the water, but it was quite a calm day, so it didn't have any waves to contend with. So yeah, 5 miles will get you. Obviously most places you want to go, as if you're using it as a tender for your boat, I think that's fine. For longer trips, you just need another battery, really. You can obviously buy separate batteries. You can slot one off, put another one on. They do a double-size battery. I haven't seen it. It's probably be quite a monster size. But yeah, I mean, the double battery would be a good idea. But I think we'll end up trying to get another battery, I think. I think that's the best thing for this. But yeah, on the whole, it's just works really well. Really pleased with it because it's easy to use, because it's light, and there's some other features with it. I mean, like to fold up, it comes up, sits up, quite nicely, quite easy. You can lock it off on a button back here, but also it will actually lift up itself. It's got an auto lift type function in that you'll see at the side here if it hits something hard at the bottom, and I have done this, I ran it aground actually on a bit of concrete, and it just lifts it, and that will unlock it instantly, so it'll swing upwards. A very clever little automatic design there that I've never seen before. And an outboard, normally there's a little clip that you've got to find with your fingers to do it, to be able to flick it up, and it means that, you know, actually when you're coming into shore, you haven't got to find that as well. You can just, you know, very quickly just heave it up and get it out the way. So yeah, I mean, there's some design things about this are just brilliant, but mainly it's the quality of the way it's put together. I think. I mean, this throttle is excellent. The foot of the outboard's excellent. So one of the things that stood out for me when I was looking at the spec of this engine was the fact that it doesn't have any gearbox. Most of these electric outboards have a gearbox. There's two things about that. One, it's going to lose some power through the gearbox, and two, they make this horrible whine. I mean, this is absolutely completely quiet, so you don't hear anything as you get it going. You just hear the water. There's you know, there really isn't any sound from it at all. So that's great for us for filming, and I mean, it's just nice for being around, not having any sound at all. Just makes it really, really pleasant. And it does that by having brushless motors all in the foot. So basically it doesn't have a drive system. All the electronics are up here, all the drive is down below. There's no maintenance at all. So yeah, I mean, if this thing lasts, there's a 2-year warranty. If it's as good as it seems to be, then yeah, I think we've made a very good purchase.